It's Saturday. Wait, what? Saturday? Yes, Saturday, and this is the Morning Booster. Welcome back, everybody, to another video where I crack open a booster pack and talk about Magic. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the case break that my friendly local gaming store did on Friday night for Double Masters while cracking open a Double Masters pack. So first off, let's go ahead and open up the pack. So for this Saturday, and I apologize that it is Saturday, but I wasn't able to get over to the store till today to get this booster, we start out with a Dire Fleet Hoarder. So that kind of is a good segue into talking about hoarding cards and the whole case break experience. So like I said, my local friendly gaming store held a case break, and what that is that you buy slots where they're going to open up a case of Double Masters VIP boosters. So that's 4 boosters to a case. There were 24 spots, and it was $15 a spot to get into the case break. I bought 3 spots for this first one, and I realized going in, and I think that's what's important, is you got to take it like gambling. It's like going to a casino, throwing your money into a slot machine. Odds are you're going to lose that money, or you're going to get something that's not really worth what you put in, but there is a small chance that you could walk away with something amazing like a Mana Vault or etc. So it was a cool concept, and what he did was, for each slot you had, he randomly sorted everybody in the break, and then the first 2 people in the break got the rares that came up with the rare or the mythic foils. The next 2 got the box toppers. The next 2 after that got the shiny foil lands, and then everything else in that booster was shared out with everybody that did not get a showcase or a box topper card. I think that was a really great way to do it, so that everybody got something out of each of the boosters. You might not necessarily get what you were hoping for, but you at least got something for the investment. But he did that, and he ran it Friday night and streamed it on his Paper or Plastic YouTube channel. So if you're looking for something like that to check out, definitely find it. I'll put a link in the show notes to today's video. But when it was all said and done, I ended up getting 1 rare foil, 1 mythic foil, and then 1 foil land. I was actually more excited when I picked up the cards today that I had gotten one of the Urza foil lands, because that meant more to me than the actual 2 rares or mythics that I had gotten out of the deck break or the case break. But still, it was a fun experience. I'm definitely going to do it again. I know Scott's talking about doing some different types of case breaks in the future, but it is a fun experience, and it kind of leads me into Double Masters today, which we're opening up. So let's check out our next card here real quick. Whisper of the Wild. 1 green, 1 colorless. Tap to add 1 green. Ferocious. Tap to add 2 green. Activate this ability only if you control a creature with power 4 or greater. Pretty cool card. I could see getting use out of that in my casual decks. Probably hand that one over to Z at the end of the day, but it is something that I could see some use out of. Kind of talking about Double Masters, though, and use versus value. One of the things that I would say with the case break that I really liked was that it was a much smaller investment versus buying a VIP box. And my problem with the VIP box is that I enjoy the experience of opening cards. I like opening boosters. I like getting a booster box so that I can open up a pack a day on average. And then really there, when you start to look at the VIP box, you're paying $100 roughly. You could get a box of Core 2019, which I'm still really into right now. I could get another box of Ikoria. I could get put it away for Zendikar Rising when that hits. So there's a lot of things that I feel like that $100 is a better use for when it comes to Magic. Now, granted, a lot of folks are hardcore into collecting, or they see this as a financial opportunity, so they buy up more, they do more, and there might be value there. I know watching the Tolarian Academy video today, his recommendation with Double Masters is just buy the specific cards you're looking for. So like me, I really would like to get the box topper Urza lands, so I'm probably just going to eventually trade or purchase those via my friendly local gaming store or eBay, whatever is most cost effective for me. I'm really not thinking that the best route is to buy up VIP double boosters or VIP double masters. I just don't see the value in it. With that said, though, let's see what the next card is. Tumble Magnet. So for 3 colorless, Tumble Magnet enters the battlefield with 3 charge counters on it. Tap, remove a charge counter. tap target artifact or creature. Okay. I don't think I would ever really put this into a deck. It's an okay card. And this here kind of is reflective of this whole Double Masters experience, in my opinion, in that you're going to spend a lot of money. Each of these boosters was roughly $15. So we've just started this booster, but who knows what the value of what I get is going to be. Again, I don't collect with the intent of financial gain. I'm more of a casual collector who just enjoys having a large old collection. So I'm not so keen on, I've got to make sure that I get my value back on every card. And sometimes a card that's worth nothing means a ton to me because of the artwork or fond memories of it. But here, looking at Tumble Magnet is a great example where I'm like, it doesn't do anything for me. And that's one more card down that I really don't feel adds value to the booster I purchased. With that said, let's see our next one. Device. All right, so this is 1 black. It's a sorcery. Target player reveals their card. You choose an artifact or creature card from it. The player discards that card. Okay, that's a fun little card. I think it's useful in Zach's green-black deck. I think I would give this to him to utilize. It's simple enough. It has a good effect. Is it worth part of a $15 booster? Again, hard to say. As I was saying earlier, when I watched the Tolarian Academy video today, I really walked away agreeing with him that the best approach to Double Masters is just to buy the cards you're looking for and not invest fully into the set, either through the booster box or the VIP box. But again, it's going to vary. So I just want to be cautious with that. I don't draw opinions on anybody. If you want to go out there and you're buying cases upon cases of the VIPs, man, rock on. If you're having fun and you're happy, that's all that matters at the end of the day. Next up, we've got Iron Bully. Ooh, I like the artwork on this one. So he is 3 colorless. He has Menace, which means it takes 2 or more creatures to block him. When Iron Bully enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. So I do like this one, especially with the Ikoria mechanics, because I feel like from a casual standpoint, if I wanted to build a deck around capitalizing on +1/+1 counters, this guy fits in perfectly. So to see him as an option now is something I'm going to have to consider going forward for casual play. Next up, Everflowing Chalice. Oh my gosh. Now I'm trying to remember what set this was from. I want to say this is a Meriden card, but I don't think so, because I don't think they had multi-kicker in Meriden. But let's see, multi-kicker 2. You may pay an additional 2 on any number of times as you cast a spell. Everflow enters the battlefield with a charge counter on it for each time it was kicked. Add colorless for each counter on the Everflow Chalice. Okay, so it's a 0 artifact. Really, you're paying a minimum of 2. It's colorless mana, which I don't necessarily know if that's very useful. I'll be curious to see what this card is worth, because that's really kind of a good indication if people are looking for it or not. It is a common, so there'll probably be quite a few of them floating around. Next up. All right, Apprentice Wizard. So 2 blue, 1 colorless, 1 blue and tap to get 3 colorless. So, okay, seeing a lot of cards so far that are means of getting additional mana, which is great if you're playing across all the sets, or you're playing Commander or Legacy or anything like that. So I think that's pretty cool. Artwork on this one is kind of muddied in my opinion, so I don't really like it. Again, I'm not really hitting any cards here, maybe outside of the Iron Bully so far, that I'm really like, oh, cool. I'm glad to add that to my collection, either because I don't have it or it's something that I would like to reminisce about. So far, we're getting in there. We're at, right now, what are we at? 6 cards. Nothing really has tickled the fancy or made me say, hey, this is a great purchase. Again, not knocking the product, but I do feel like I'm a little bit more conscious of it given the price point versus a standard $3, $4 booster, or even the Kickstart, or Jumpstart, not Kickstart, but Jumpstart boosters, which I think were awesome for the price. It's just a shame I wasn't able to get more than one of them. But going back to what I was talking about last night with the case break, it was exciting to watch. One of the things I also noticed about it as Scott opened up each of the boosters was that there seemed to be some redundancy in the cards that I wasn't expecting, especially with the chase cards, either the foil rare mythics or the box toppers. I want to say out of the 4, Meddling Mage showed up twice. Now that to me is also kind of a disappointment, even as somebody just observing, because again, you're spending so much on these packs that I really would like to see the more diversity in those sets. I mean, again, if you're paying $100 and you say you are one of those folks that bought a whole case of them, so you're opening up 4 packs, man, I really would hope you would not see any of the same cards across those 4 packs, because that just sucks when it happens. I mean, now somebody's gonna say, well, what happens if you get, you know, this card or that card again, like Mana Vault? Well, hey, awesome, but how often is that really going to happen? That's going to be so rare that it's completely crazy. Again, right now somebody's probably putting together a video that they're like, oh, look here, my case break, and I got 4 of the Mana Vaults out of 4 boosters. So I'll probably be proven wrong in about 30 seconds after this goes live. But my point being, from my perspective, not really the best investment in the world. But let's see here. Let's keep going. Hopefully we're going to get something pretty cool. Chatterer of Squirrels. Okay, that little dude's kind of creeping me out. We're going to move past him. Payne Smith, or I call it the wife. This one is a 1 black, 1 colorless. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, you may have target creature get +2/+0 and death touch until end turn. Not bad. So we are, let's see, the squirrel is common. All right, so this guy is our first uncommon. Next up, we have Riddlesmith. He is a human artificer. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. All right. So the uncommons now, let's see if we get anything interesting. I know one of the cards I got out of the case break was Pongify, which I hate that card. I hate the artwork on it. I am anti-monkey in every sense of the way. So as soon as Scott handed it to me, I was like, here you go. Trade it in, give me some store credit. I don't care if it's worth 10 cents. Just, you can have it. Point being, I did get that one as part of the case break, but here we got Drown in Sorrow. Ooh, Cascade buff. All right, so here we go. Here's our first rare. And this is pretty cool because I do collect the lands. So this one is you can tap for 1 colorless, or you can pump in a blue or red and tap for double red or blue. You can see what it says there. But the point is that it is a colorless land unless you want to pump some mana into it, in which case you get double the mana back. So that's a pretty good ability. I don't know what these guys are going for. I'm going to assume not too much, because I haven't seen too much in terms of too many articles talking about the lands out of Double Masters. I think the attention is on some of those other cards, but I'll be curious to see if this thing is worth anything. Next up we have, boom, Wrath of God. All right, now this makes this booster worth the purchase, because Wrath of God was one of those cards back in the old days that just brought fear to everybody when we were playing group Magic or even single Magic, because it just destroyed everything. That was the whole fun of it. It was like, oh, here I'm building up all my little Grimleys, and then suddenly somebody would throw down the Wrath of God, and you'd be like, crap, there went the 10 creatures that I spent the last hour getting on the board. So to see Wrath of God in this set makes me smile, makes this booster worth the money. So I'm very, very happy to see that. The artwork, I don't know if I would say that's necessarily the best version of Wrath of God. I think there's been some older, better versions of the art, but still it's not bad. Again, though, just seeing it and remembering some of the experiences, one of my favorite being back in college, a very good friend of mine was notorious for playing his red-green deck, which was primarily fireballs, lightning bolts, sprites, and channels. And then mana, of course. And that was about it. This is now back before there was all of the limits on cards, like you only have 4 of any card, etc. So when we got started, and again, we started at the very beginning, you know, if we found cards that were great, we would spam the living crap out of them in there, because there was nothing to stop us. We were also college students, so it was a matter of, well, I'll give you these, you give me those. And I used to build more around creature themes, like mermen were, for example, one of my favorites, and goblins and kobolds out of Legend. Those were some of the ones that I really liked. But my buddy was more about the efficiency of the deck and winning the games as quickly and decisively as possible. So that's how he stacked it up. Knowing that, though, Wrath of God was always that thing that would just drive him nuts, because he didn't have any way to counter it if it hit. And he would build up his little wall of sprites. And I think he'd have something else in there I can't remember at the moment. But he was all about the dinky little 1/1s. And just throwing the Wrath of God down and watching his whole line disappear was just a fond memory from back in the day. So very happy to see Wrath of God is my point there. With that said, what else did we get? So we should get the 2 foils now. So our first one, ooh, what is the, oh, Angel of Dawn. Now I talked about this in Core 2019, and this is a foil version of it. Love the artwork. This is one that I would like to get blown up, and so I can put it on the wall, because it is just a beautiful image and one that I feel just encompasses Magic at its best. So glad to see that. Again, it's not a Wrath of God, not as excited about it, but still a badass card to get, and one that I really like in foil form. All right, next up we got, boom, what do we got? Oh, we got a Bone Picker here. So the Bone Picker is a bird. This spell costs 3 less to cast if a creature died this turn. All right, and it has Flying Death Touch. Nothing exciting there, no fond memories, so we're just going to kind of move past it. And then we got our token card, which is a Servo. I have no idea what generates a Servo creature card, but there we have it. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, hit that like button. Better yet, subscribe. That inspires me to keep going with these videos. As I mentioned before, if I get to 1,000 subscribers, we're going to crack open a Zendikar booster one night. So hopefully we'll get there eventually. I know it's a long road ahead, but every subscriber helps to get to that goal. With that said too, before we do my usual closing, if you are interested in checking out the case breaks or anything to do with the local Joliet, Illinois Magic scene, definitely head on over to Paper or Plastic. Like I said, I have left a link in the show notes below. They are not a sponsor. Scott doesn't pay me, but he's just a nice family dude that runs a great store that I really want to support. So if you're looking for somewhere in the area, definitely check out his store. With that said, and as always, thanks for watching, everybody. Till next time.